basics on performance testing. So I just want to know the background in the chat, like how many of y'all are actually working in performance testing, or y'all aspire to be a performance tester, or y'all have been working with automation and y'all just want to extend your expertise, something like that. So I might design my the sessions like that. So just roughly, like, majority of the public are from what background, that I would like to know. Wanted to extend, okay, thanks Samant. Want to extend from Janit. Anyone who is already working on performance testing, like even if it is a little bit, wanted to extend now in ETL, okay, thanks Vinay. Okay, fine. So basically now we'll be starting with the very basics of performance testing, wherein we are going to touch the concepts, right? It is a vast field, but yes, we will try to cover as much as possible. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Before that, I just wanted to know, I am clearly audible, right?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thanks. So that's it. So basically, we have planned this session for 6 days. It is not hard and fast that we are going to wrap it up on 6th day. We'll see how the audience reacts. If the audience is interested, we can definitely extend it. So as of now, the plan for today is we are going to just cover the basics of performance testing. What is basically performance testing? The importance of performance testing. What methodology are we currently implementing in our company, or you're trying to learn? Then just few basic tests which are conducted in performance testing. Minded, these are only the ones which are widely tested. Apart from that, we have a lot of testing which is covered under this topic, but today I'm going to cover load, stress and endurance, and then we are going to see what is a performance test cycle. From day 2 onwards, it would be more of a practical thing, where I would request each and everyone to either have a prerequisite as a JMeter, installed, or never mind, we can install it during our session. That's not even a problem. We are going to touch what is a client side testing and server side testing. We are going to just see how to install and how to record the traffic with whatever requests that are getting posted to your servers. How do we record, or in short, automate those scripts? Then we are going to just see the different elements of JMeter. Right, day 3, what we are going to do is we are going to complete one very simple script in JMeter, and we are going to perform a load test, right? So we are just going to play a scenario where today we are trying to understand a basic requirement, and we are going to set up a small example, like a story, standard template of a report. Now, after this, what we are going to do is, this is just the kind of performance testing. But beyond performance testing, there is a major field that is called as APM, that is application performance monitoring. So there are various paid tools, there are free, like if you all are hosted, if your application is hosted on Linux or Unix or such kind of servers, we can see few of the commands. I'll try to show something. I'm not sure because I cannot connect to my office network, but I'll try to set up some Okay, I've started recording. Okay, fine.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, thanks Ajay for reminding. So that is what we were saying. So performance testing is just where you are going to follow one cycle, which we are going to see over here, and post that whatever things you identify the bottleneck and the recommendations you give to the developer to fine tune your application. Those come as your, those come. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Is there a question or query? Okay, I take it as a no. So all those things comes under performance engineering or performance architect or performance tuning, right? Okay, I see Sainath has raised her hand. Please go ahead, Sainath. Sainath?
Go ahead with the session. I just accidentally clicked on it. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, no issues, no worries at all. Okay, so that is what we were saying. On the day 6, we are just going to prepare ourselves. Like we see, majority of y'all are from the automation background or some manual background and want to extend their field to performance testing. So we can doubts, yes, side by side we can have, but major doubts or we can have actual issues if you all are facing in your current project, we can discuss those, how what kind of interviews can be expected, interview questions can be expected, we can go around those things, right? So this is roughly a 6-day plan which we are planning for the session. It can be extended, looking how we go about scripting and all, because scripting does take time. So that is what is the plan. Any queries on so far? Right. So today, basically, we are just going to we are just trying to understand what is performance testing. So come on, this is going to be a bit interactive session. So we all know, right? I assume majority of us are from testing background, right? So we are aware of functional testing, right? Anyone wants to answer this question? What is functional testing? Or whatever kind of testing you all are doing in your company, or you are interested in pursuing. So any idea?
Yeah, we just doing the checking the functionality for the application, or I mean, whatever we testing, we just checking what is the function and how it's working.
Correct. So right, that is very much right. So functional testing is what, suppose if we have an application, right, where we need to follow certain steps. This certain steps means if I give username, the corresponding password should be same. If I am into a banking application, I am making a cash deposit. So cash deposit means what? I am putting some money into that account. So the functionality is that account should be having plus whatever cash deposit you are making. Similarly for the withdrawal. So all these scenarios, they come as part of your functional testing, right? Whatever business logic, business validations we all put, that comes under your functional testing. Now, in functional testing also, there are two ways how you conduct your functional test. First is manual testing. So manual testing is where you properly step by step write it down, conduct those scenarios, and you take snaps and so on, right? Other part of your functional testing is where comes is your automation testing, where the entire business flow you are scripting. That may be your Selenium on some framework, then Appium if it is an APK, and so on. Now performance testing, where does it sit? So performance testing doesn't sit in your functional testing. Performance testing itself is called as non-functional testing, that is NFR testing, non-functional requirement testing. Now, what do you mean by non-functional testing? Anyone wants to attempt it? Just a wild guess, need not be a perfect answer. Fine. Okay, so now we'll just start building up a story. Okay, so I am Meghna. I want to start my own startup. Okay, let's see like that. And my startup is I have to. I mean, I'm very much interested in pets. So I want the people in my area to know that I have certain fishes with me, I have certain dogs with me, I have certain cats with me, and I need to sell them, right? So this is my this is what idea I have. So the first thing, what am I going to do? I'm going to catch hold of some developer. I'm going to say that only for maybe in my area only 20 people stay maybe. So I'm just telling I want 20 people to know that I have a small business where I can sell my pets. So the developer designs accordingly and he builds a UI for me on which we are going to conduct performance testing next session, right? So he built a UI for me. Now what did someone do? I think Ankit, Anushri, Arun, these all are testers which I have. So these testers are going to validate it. Okay, so what they are going to see, okay, under cats, I have all the hybrids of the cats or whatever is their types and all those things. Under dogs, I have specific, okay, let me just do one thing. I think it will be better. I think you won't be able to see it. Just let me share it again. Okay, right? Can you all see me? Can you all see the screen now? So I assume it is yes. Now this is the JPEG store is the developer who has developed this and given it to me, right? So if you see now, a functional tester is going to check if I am putting a proper user and a password, and it should log in. Right, so this is kind of your functional testing. Under fish, if I go, I see types of fish. So this is again your functional testing. This is again your functional testing. Okay, if you want to go to dogs, reptiles, cats, and he has just generated this application and it is functionally stable now. Now what is my requirement? I just want to know that if all of my area people try to access this site, will it give me 500 error? Will it give me 404 error? Or will it, or is it going to be a successful one where people can order my pets and there won't be any kind of business loss? So all these parameters, when you are thinking that the end user should be able to access your site, APK or anything. As of now, for simplicity, we are going to consider this example only. Excuse. So we are going to consider this example till the end of our session. So will this be successful? Can 20 users access this site at the same time? Will there be any delay? So all these requirements or all these kinds of answers are given by your NFR. It is said as non-functional because you are nowhere dealing with the functionality of the application. You are dealing with the load, with the concurrency, with the throughput, with the response time. We'll see each of these parameters separately. As of now, just try to understand why performance testing and what is the criticality of this. Just imagine in your banking domain, in fact we did observe when there was demonetization implemented, HDFC banks and all were throwing 500 error. That kind of load it couldn't access, and that led to so much of your business failures, you know, so much of loss they had to incur, right? So to avoid the losses in the production, we are trying to validate our application strength and our server strength on which our application is hosted. Very simple. What is performance testing? You are just going to monitor the health of your application and the health of your server. Any doubts with respect to this? Okay, I take it as no, and please keep on shooting queries if you have any. Do not hesitate. It might be a simple doubt. It might be complex. We'll try to discuss and sort it out. Okay. Then we have is, okay, so the next topic is we covered what is performance testing. Okay, importance. So we kind of covered that also. The importance is like, now suppose we can again relate to our real time example. Amazon, Flipkarts, they have big sale day. right? During those time, you see abundance of people logging into those sites, and we do see some delays in the response, or we see see some kind of latencies on our application. That means there is some health affecting, either your application threads are in waiting state, or your utilization parameters, like we can see what are the utilization things and all in later, but something is hampering, and that is the reason you see a latency in your application during the big sale times. So to avoid all such latencies, we should have performance testing, right? Then we have okay, what methodology? Now, many of us are aware that initially there was initially there was waterfall model or SDLC cycle, which was being used extensively. So in that, what was happening? First, you were trying to gather all the requirements, then you were planning, you were designing a typical waterfall model. After designing, you are coding it, then implementing, then the functional testing, and then comes your performance testing. Now, the main prerequisite of your performance testing is that your application should be functionally stable. Functionally stable means it should be like when you click on fish, you should have, when you click on fish, you should have all the categories of your fishes. When you have dogs, you should have dogs. After clicking on bulldog, it should actually give me the details of bulldog only. So all these should be stable. It shouldn't like on clicking dogs, some other profile is coming up, or the page is not turning up, there is a resource not found, there is a 404 error, there is some other errors. So no. For performance testing, you can say the entry criteria is that your application should be functionally stable. Okay, another one more thing with respect to performance testing is you do not require any kind of domain knowledge, right? So if currently you are working in an healthcare domain for automation or for functional, let's go with the functional testing and non-functional. So for functional testing, you need to have the domain knowledge. If you are into healthcare, or if you are into the insurance domain, you need to have all the terms related to that. But any application you consider and you want to do a NFR or a perf testing, all you need to ask client or any application owner, product owner, whoever is there, you just need to ask how much concurrency is required, how much response time, what is the SLA on the response time, what is your production load, how much you are expecting. So all such kind of questions are common, whether it be your healthcare domain or your insurance domain or your banking domain. It really doesn't matter. I am saying domain knowledge is not necessary. This doesn't mean that you need not understand the application. The very first thing once you get into performance testing is you have to know the architecture. You have to understand the application deeply. Which call is going to hit, where if there are any third parties like Kafka, MQ involved, what is the tier, how many tiers are present in your application. So we'll cover all those slowly once we start a scenario of a client and a service provider. So we are going to do that. So I'm just saying that irrespective of any domain, the aim of the NFR testing remains same. Right. Now, to perform performance testing, we have various tools. Right. So we have Load Runner, which is HP. We have Performance Center, again HP. These are licensed tool. We have Neotis, Neoload. We have JMeter, Apache JMeter, which is very in demand in market. And JMeter is not only supporting performance, but I guess majority of them know that it is also used as a functional tool to test the functional tool or to automate the functional things. Then we are going to cover one with respect to JMeter. Okay, yeah, performance testing with JMeter. Right, so okay, we were on methodology. So in this, what happens in a typical waterfall model, we have to wait till end. Correct, because you have to have gather the code is implemented, functional testing is completed, because without functional test being completed, perf cycle cannot enter. So it is like it is too at the end of your production deployment, and it is too expensive if you find any bottlenecks with respect to your infrastructure. Infrastructure as in I meant to say your web server, application server, your database server, or with respect to your application. With respect to your application, I mean your threads are getting utilized 100%, or your JVM heap is getting utilized 100%, or your GC is not happening properly. So all these parts we will be covering into our performance engineering aspect. Just to give you all an idea is that identifying such kind of critical things at the end becomes very expensive, and which is not accepted at most of the companies nowadays. So most of the companies are adapting agile methodology, where we are having sprint-wise development. So performance testing, again, always remember performance testing, we need the entry point is functionally stable. So we work in shift left or sprint -1 sprint. So if sprint 2 is going on for the development and testing, we are performance testing sprinting starts sprint 1. Whatever functionality was developed and tested in sprint 2, we are developing and testing that. Developing, I mean automating those scripts or the components in JMeter, and we test those in -1 sprint. So our sprint 1 starts when their sprint 1 gets over. This kind of methodology for performance testing is called as shift left. Right. Now, many of the companies do not have a special environment, right? Special UAT or special SIT environment for this. Never mind. You can always perform shift left on your lower environments just to identify any possibility early detection. If you have a perf environment, it is very good and very reliable to test on your perf environment. But if not, still you can start implementing shift -1 in your companies. So that is what methodology most of the companies are now adapting. So those are two important methodologies which we are having. Okay, so any queries with respect to anything, like any basic doubt, anything you all want to ask or you all want to suggest? So it is a discussion, right? So you all can please come up. Okay, I take it as a no. The next one is now types of performance testing. So mainly, before we go on that, the basic things on performance testing or parameters, not things, the basic parameters that we have to consider while perf testing. Suppose this JPET store. Now I told you that I just wanted this application to be able to handle only with my area load. So that is maybe 20 or 25 users. But tomorrow I want to grow my business, of course, right? Once I see a very good response from my area people, I would like it to go to maybe a city level, right? Now city level and area level, we cannot compare, the load would be same, right? Now load. Load can have two aspects, right? Load means number of users or concurrency. When my application was deployed only to a particular area, so only 20 members were able to run through that application, right? Now I want to extend it to a city level. Now city level, there are hundreds and hundreds of people, right? I have to do a performance testing again. Now load with respect to users is called as concurrency. How many, if someone says what is the concurrency that your application supports, means you are saying that how much users you are expecting to run successfully on your application without causing any issues. That is your concurrency. Now, load is also with respect to your request per second or hits per second or transactions per second, very famously recognized as TPS, transaction per second. So if someone comes and asks me, oh, you have come into business, very nice, I hear that. But what is the TPS that your application is supporting? He is asking at a particular second, how many of your transactions are getting successfully posted to your server and getting a response back. That is one major criteria of your performance testing. Nowadays, we see it's a world of APIs, right? APIs are supposed to be performed very quick. So the SLAs are within the SLA is 5 seconds or maybe 3 seconds. So you have to get a response of an API within 3 seconds. That is what is the criteria. Understood this through? So load can be either with respect to your concurrency. Load can also be with respect to your request per second or transaction per second or hits per second, commonly known as TPS in the NFR world. Then we have response times. Now, what do you mean by response time? We are going to cover the exact flow that when you are trying to hit this JPEG store demo, what is the architecture and how it is making a round trip time. I mean, at the moment you hit a request from your end user machine, what tiers it is going to travel, how many database it is going to hit, what query it is going to hit. We are going to see the exact flow, right, in the next session. So the moment you hit any URL or maybe google.com or your JPEG store, which is the application which my developer has built, the time it takes to response. Like suppose now I am making a request on, I need to have the dog's information. So I am just going to click on dog. You see the URL has changed and the response is different, right? If you have to go to reptiles, you see reptiles and you see. So exactly the time taken to load this response on your end user machine is nothing but response time. So in banking applications, if you see, response time is one of the critical factor which is supposed to be considered, because it's all related to money. You know, no one likes to wait. If I am making a transfer to some account, and if it is just rolling round and round and round and round, right? So it is impacting, the end user is tensed. What happened to my money? Is it deducted or is it not? Or is it lost somewhere? There is no error message. So it is supposed to have a bad impact on the client, which could lose your business. Response time, another important thing. The next thing I want to say is it is the type of application which really matters, the sustainability of an application, right? So if you consider a sports application, you would want the concurrency to be there, right? Many people follow. Even sitting in office, we go, and when there is World Cup T20 series, we open cricket.info. It has a delay, but it is not going to change or it is not going to impact, right? So I won't say that there is a delay, no, but yeah, it is okay. I mean, it's okay. That is fine. That you are having a latency, we all know. But if in the same case, you cannot expect a banking application to give you such kind of delay. So it actually totally depends upon the type of the application you are going to perf test, right? So that is one thing I wanted to tell you all. Okay, so we were coming to load testing, right? So load testing is now, suppose we have all this scripts ready in JMeter, and we are just going to have a load test. We'll see how to do a load test. As of now, just try to understand the concept, right? So in JMeter, we have defined the concurrency area wise. First, I want to do only my areas perf testing. So 20 users. So I'm going to give 20 users, right? I want to run a test for suppose 1 hour, because I just want to see if in 1 hour all the 20 users are accessing my application, is it going to be okay? What is going to be the response time? What is going to be my server utilization? How it is performing? All those things. So any such kind of test which you all perform with respect to checking of the concurrency or transaction per second. Now, when I say transaction per second, immediately it should click that I'm talking about TPS. Henceforth, I'm going to refer it TPS. So any test that is being performed with respect to your concurrency, that is your users, or your TPS, or the transactions per second, for a short duration of time. I just wanted to know कि within 1 hour, I know my area people all are working, or majority of the women are housewife. Once they have completed their task in the afternoon, they might log in. So for me, my peak timing is 2 to 4, right? 2 hours. So within that 2 hours, I'm going to check how my application is going to perform. Such kind of testing is called as load testing. Any doubt so far? Okay, people, you've got to be interactive. I need to know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, it's very clear to us.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
excuse me.
go ahead.
Hello, excuse me. Yeah,
Okay, is there something?
instead of saying orally, can you explain me like? Yeah, instead of explaining orally, can you explain any kind of examples by taking any website or else anything?
Yeah, correct. So we are going to do this on day 3. We are going to, as of now, when I'll start scripting and all, the things should be a bit clear. I'm not saying you'll get it totally, but yeah, you should at least know what I am talking is concurrency, what I want is TPS. So that is the reason today is just an introductory session. From the next session, we are going to start scripting and we are going to perform a load test. The entire perf cycle, we are going to do it.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, the thing is that like if you are going on with the oral section, like it seems to be bored for the few people. So in that absence, I said that can you explain me by taking any small kind of examples like applications or any kind of things?
Yeah, sure. We are going to do it. Do you want me to show it right now? I can show it, but then
So,
majority of the people. Yeah. Okay.
hello. Yeah, so actually, yeah, this is Ajay here. Yeah, so we have actually planned that as well, So initially the problem is, when we start learning the same, we have experience for Selenium as well. Over here, performance testing, a lot of people are actually not aware of the background of performance testing and what is the need for performance testing. And that is why this initial 1 or 2 sessions, we have kept it in terms of basics so that people understand the need and the basics of performance testing. And yes, I completely agree with you that, sometimes people might feel that the theoretical part is more of a boring part, but if you go directly to a tool, you will miss the theoretical part, and that is also important. So from session 2 or session 3, we are actually including one tool and we will be testing an application and how do you do the scripting part. This all will be covered in the sessions as well, right? So for the initial sessions, we are focusing more on the basics because people are from different backgrounds. Some of them might be, they already have a basic experience on performance and they want to move ahead. But some of them are very new to performance and they want to go from basic. That is why I have planned it in such a way.
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with you, Ajay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, don't worry. We will be covering a tool, and then we will be also covering a website wherein we can see how do you do the scripting, how do you perform load testing on a particular website, right? The target
Yeah,
audience,
okay.
it's a mixed set of audience, right? Some of the people are actually from manual testing background, and some of my friends have also joined. So I'm just
Yeah,
trying to make
okay.
sure that everyone is on the same page.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you, Ajay.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. So okay, yeah, we were at load testing. So yes, there are many tools as I said earlier for load testing. One among them is commonly used. It is an open source tool. We are going to use the same application to load test. We are going to load test this application, but we will be doing it on the coming days, right? So that is a load testing. Now, stress testing. I'm sorry, stress testing. So if you see, what do you mean by stress testing? Now, when I am developing a application or when I am perf testing an application, I should know the breakdown. Okay, so now my application is deployed to a city level, right? But suppose if I go to a state level, I should know whether it is going to survive a state level load or not. Now, state level comes in thousands and maybe plus. It can go up to lakhs, right? So stress testing is a type of testing which we conduct on an application to see where my application breakdowns. Further, it cannot take any request. Either your application goes in hung state or your servers go down. So this kind of testing, whenever a product is newly developed or a banking application is there, you always need to understand what is the breakdown. And if you know at 78 TPS my breakdown is there, if there is any further load, the clients are going to be impacted. So it is very critical for the production scenarios that you always benchmark your test with your load testing SLAs and with your stress testing SLAs. Stress testing is again where your application is going to stop to respond, right? So it may be due to various reasons. We'll again cover that as part of your performance engineering. Then comes your endurance testing. Now, endurance testing is nothing but the testing which is conducted for one business day. Now, for a stock market, if you see your one business day may be 24 hours. For healthcare, it may be 24 hours. For banking domain, it lasts from 6 to 8 hours. So you kind of perform a load test, that means concurrency and TPS and all, but for a long duration, right? We are not going to cover endurance testing as demo in our thing. We are just going to consider our load testing, right? And the final thing which we have is the performance test cycle for today. So a typical performance test cycle, maybe you follow a waterfall model or a agile methodology. The first thing or the first question which you have is what kind of application you are going to test. That is, I mean, requirement gathering. What kind of application, what are the tiers present in your application, are there any third party MQs, IBM, Kafka, anything. Then you try to understand for what aspect you are trying to perf test your application with respect to, either it may be a concurrency or you want a response time or you want a throughput or you want a TPS. So all these comes under your performance first part, that is your requirement gathering, also called as NFR gatherings, non-functional requirement gatherings. Once you have all this kind of information, you are going to prepare a strategy how you are going to test this. That is again test plan and strategy. Most of the companies follow it, but you can skip it. Then there is a part that is called as WLM, workload modeling, which we will cover over here, where we are going to perform load testing. Once you have all these modeling and all, then you automate your scripts. That is coding. So where this is our scripting, where we are going to complete the scripting part of the application, which we have to test. And then finally, it is the test execution. You execute a test, you monitor the test, you prepare the report, you tell if there is any abnormalities in the application or your infrastructure. If there are any, you do some engineering, you give some recommendations, you do some tuning, and then you again come here to perform a load test to see that whatever tuning you have done is working fine or not. Once all these steps are performed, you provide a sign off to your development team and the product owners. Post that only it goes to your deployment for the production environment. So that is what I have for today's session. Next session onwards, we are going to work on this application to load test on the JPEG store demo. We are going to actually record it using JMeter. We are going to perform load test. We are going to first understand JMeter. I assume many of them may not know. So we'll cover all the basic stuffs with respect to JMeter, and we will automate one of the important flow from this UI. Any queries so far?
Hi, thanks for the session. I have two questions. First one is, as you talk about the load and stress testing, both sounds very similar, right? Like the number of users. So what is the main difference between the load and stress testing? And the second one, I'm not getting what is endurance testing?
Okay. Okay, fine, Mukta. So load testing, as I told, is suppose my application is deployed only to my area level. So maximum it could handle the load maybe just 20 users, right? So 20 users, I see my response times, SLAs, everything is matching. Now what is stress testing, right? Now stress testing, even though my area only there are 20 people, but I try to put some more load to identify when I do not get any response. Then I see if I put a load of 40 users, right? It goes on your iteration. You keep on increasing the load to see how your application is surviving to that load. Now 40 users, I see there is some delay. Initially with 20 users, I was just getting response in 2 seconds. With 40 users, maybe I am getting response till 5 seconds. Still, it is not your breakpoint. You are getting a valid response from the server. Now what I am doing, I am increasing my load again, maybe with 10. Now I am putting 50 users load, and I am not getting any response. Either I'm getting 500 internal server, which means the server is not able to handle that many requests, or I'm getting 404, or your page is expired. All such kind of different HTTP codes you get to see. At that time, you say that my application is able to perform well, not well, or okay on an average with latency of 5 seconds when I put a load of 40 users. So your 40 users become your concurrency of 40 users become your breakpoint test. But your load test is 20 users, which you are expecting a normal day load. 20 users, my application is very well. So all this kind of information we have to analyze. This type of testing where iteratively we are trying to find out the breakpoint of an application is also called as scalability testing, where at every iteration you are going on adding a load. Am I clear, Mukta?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now with respect to endurance test, now the product owner or the business people come and tell me, Meghna, I want to perf test, but my one day load is suppose 20 users for this JPEG store. But I have to check, but I am operational for an entire 8 hours, right? So for this 8 hours, I try to see if my 20 user load is giving me proper response, because many a times what happens with long duration tests is your container threads get blocked, or your JVM heap, if the GC is not properly configured or policy is not properly provided, then your heap gets full. So all such kind of bottlenecks can be identified only into your long duration test, which we are going to cover in our performance engineering part. So these long duration tests which we do for one business day is called as endurance test.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks Mukta.
Hey, hi. Thanks for the session. I have one question actually.
Yeah.
Sachin here. Which programming knowledge we required, like any programming language we required for the performance testing, or we can directly use like recording and play like.
So to answer that, I would say if you have some knowledge of programming, it's an add-on. But if you not, you can still survive. It's not a big deal. We just need to have some of Bean Shell scripting or Java scripting and regular expression knowledge, which I will share some tips and tricks which is going to suffice your all kind of scenarios. So it won't be a much pain.
Okay.
To answer, it is
Okay.
not mandate to know any of the C, C++, Java. JavaScript is add-on. If you have, that is very, very well, but still we can manage, no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sachin.
Yeah, hi, this is Sainath. As you said, so in agile practice, so you're following so sprint minus one model, right? So once the functional testing is completed, so you will get your non-functional requirements, or so you will just run the regression suite in performance wise, or so if you got any requirement in non-functionality, so do you create a new test suits, or so what is the exact plan in the sprint wise model?
Yeah, so in sprint wise model, like it is again dependent upon what kind of team you all are working. If your sprinting team already has an automation team, then you can use the same suit, but for performance testing. Like if you see, JMeter can be used both. It is also used for your functional, it is also used for your non-functional. The company where I am working, we do not have an automation team, so we develop automated script as part of my sprint minus one cycle, and we keep it ready. All we have to do is once things goes to UAT or SIT environment, we just change the link, the domain, only that changes for us. So all the scripting and the data setup, everything is done as part of our sprinting.
Okay, thank you. So thanks
Thanks,
for the session.
Sainath.
It was great.
Thanks, Sainath. Okay, I see quite many of the chats. Performance testing is manual or automation perform. Okay, this is a very good question. I don't know how did I miss this. Okay, so I'm going to expect answer from you guys only. Let us say that, Ajay, we have time, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Ajay. So, okay, now I just wanted to ask this. Now, I told you I have a JPET, my business, my startup. So, I want to performance test this. Now, when I'm saying 20 users, performance testing, how will you do with 20 users? So, what I have to do, I have to set 20 computer systems or 20 mobile devices or anything, tablets, whatever guys you all have, and you all have to open this right on your laptop or anything and access at the same time. 20 users is still manageable, but when you go to 100, 200, 500, is it a real-time scenario that I'm going to host 500 machines, catch hold of all my friends to sit and ask them to hit the server at the same time? It is practically impossible. So performance testing is never done manually. It is an automated script for which we are going to create scenarios, and we are going to automate it using JMeter, LoadRunner, NeoLoad, whatever tool you all are comfortable with. So, Saurabh, does that answer your question? I take it as yes. Okay, cool. Thanks, Saurabh. From Shraddha, yes, only manual testing background. So please explain details. Okay, Shraddha, I hope you are getting the session.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Shraddha, so this is what actually we were planning, So because when I started Java sessions, and when I started it from, prior to this session, when I started, I found that there are many people who are new to automation, new to performance, and new to development, right? So we conducted session directly from the scratch and directly from the data types of Java, right? What is Java and how do we execute a simple hello world program? That is how we conducted in the past. And this is the same thing which I and Meghna are trying right now, because see, we are not sure about the audience. We have 45 to 50 people who have been joined in, and I cannot keep a track of each and every individual, like what is your ratings on your performance training, right? So we do not have that particular idea. So the thumb rule with what we are considering as of now is, that we have people from many different backgrounds, and considering this COVID-19 situation wherein many people have lost their jobs and people are already working from home, so they have ample amount of time to move from manual to automation or to performance. So what we are trying to study over here is people can be from any background. We will go from basic, so that if there is someone who is from manual and if they're attending the session, they should be able to understand and grasp it. So overall, this is the agenda, and that is why we are over here, and we have Meghna, and she will be actually guiding you for the entire performance session. And I think she has already given you the overview of the course content, which we have. As of now, we have planned 5 to 6 sessions. But again, based on the participants and based on the interest of the people, we will be continuing it further also. So I believe this was a good session. People might have really understood the basic. We will go ahead. So those who have already, let's say 3 months or 6 months of experience in performance testing, or they are currently doing performance testing in the company, that is also good for them. It would be, you can consider this as a revision. And, going forward, we'll be implementing some of the tools and websites also. So any questions, you can post it in the performance testing group. I would recommend post it in the group, so that, whoever he is already working, he can also answer. And there can be a brainstorming session in the group as well. And yeah, I think we are good for today. Maybe from next weekend, we can again plan it from Saturday, Sunday, and let's see how it goes. And yeah, thank you, Meghna, for the wonderful session. I hope people have really at least got, even if they get 50% of the session, that would also, after that, if they do some homework, then they will be able to get it completely 100%. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Meghna.
Thanks, Ajay. Thank you all for joining. Hope to see you all in the next session. Have a great week ahead. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Meghna.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Let's
Meghna.
wind it up for the day. Thank you.
Thank you.